We have the new Supercharger cooler cores on the way, so we can just start fresh with the car. Both sides are totally soaked. It does kind of smell like coolant, but it also smells like burning oil. It is like really gross in the Supercharger. Alright guys, so we are back at it. We have where we left off. We basically just cleared everything out of the way. I don't think you need to remove this plastic. Let me set this thing down. This plastic coolant pipe here. I did get it loose off the back. I lied. So that coolant pipe does have to come out of the way. It is pretty easy to get off. Just go ahead and spray some penetrating oil in there. You will want to replace the O-ring after you do this. So I'll see if I got an O-ring. If not, I will order one. But yeah, loosen the bolt on the back. This metal bracket, you do have to bend it back, which is fine. You can bend it right back forward to its position, and that'll give you enough room to get the back of the hose out. So now it is loose. Now you can get to all the bolts easily and just undo the rest of the bolts, and this thing should lift off. Be mindful of these guys. I did take out the screw on the back side of the PCV valve where it connects to the Y pipe. Yeah, I'm just going to take it all out, and be careful of these guys so it'll all come out as one piece, hopefully. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and take off. There are a bunch of T30s holding down the PCV, or whatever you want to call it, oil separator valve, and we'll get those things loosened up. Alright, so all the screws that are down in this valley area are all out. There is one last screw up top there, and then be mindful that you do have to swap over this bracket, and it is one Torx, I don't know if it's like a T25, something like that, but that'll swap over this metal bracket, and then you're ready to take this thing out, I believe. So let's try it. It is all pulled off. You guys can see almost. So we have a nice slurry of, that is like oil and coolant right here, and then there's like a bunch of sludge at the bottom, and then we've got clean coolant here, and then that coolant, as you can see, this one's really pink, that one's like more of an orangey color. That is the slimy jellied coolant. Same with over here, you can see real pink going into the engine, and then just real orange where it was leaking. So I think this gasket might have been leaking and slowly just letting coolant into the valley. Of course it let out a lot of coolant now when I just pulled it out, but there was quite a bit of coolant in this area, so I think that was a major issue. I'm gonna go ahead and get my vacuum pump and start cleaning all this stuff out. Hit it with some brake cleaner, clean all of that out, and we'll go ahead and, I don't know if I'm gonna put the new one on now or if I'm just gonna wait and cover this up and just do it another day, but we're making good progress. Alright guys, so it is a bit later and we are at a stopping point. So I didn't mess with any of the PCV stuff, we just pulled that off. It is in the garage currently. And then we have new oil filter housing that I installed on the car. That is all good, bolts are tight. I don't know the torque spec on them. Honestly, we just went as tight as they could go for the most part, within reason, without stripping the block or breaking bolts. So they're in there. We have all of this covered up, and we're going to go into the garage and start transferring over like the Y pipe that I took out with the PCV valve. That'll get transferred onto the new one. So we've got the new guy here. I pulled the Y pipe off. It came off pretty easily. I was just nervous doing it in the car, so just snuck a flathead screwdriver behind the bolt hole flange, and slowly, you just got to be really slow because everything's been baked in the hot engine bay, so all of this stuff is real brittle. So just slowly work it out. It'll pry right out of there, and then it'll just transfer over into these holes here, and then that bracket that I told you guys about, this metal bracket needs to get transferred over. It'll just mount to this hole right here, and then make sure you line up the 2 holes on the bracket with these 2 holes in the front there. And I think that is basically it. This pipe, or this line, you can pull it off here and transfer it to this guy right here, and then that part will be ready to go in. So anyway, besides all of that, we will get all that stuff transferred over to the new one from the old one, and get that all squared away for the next video. And then we still have a few days before the parts for this guy come in, but we have the new Supercharger cooler cores. We've got a pair of those on the way. If we come down here and take a look, it is really gross in there, honestly. So both sides are totally soaked. They are wet. It does kind of smell like coolant, but it also smells like burning oil, and it looks more like burning oil than anything. I am hoping the seals on like the Supercharger, it's not like burning its own oil or something like that. It feels tight, and it doesn't have like a crazy amount of slop or anything. I do want to break this guy open and try and drain the oil, but I also don't. I kind of want to just leave it alone. So anyway, I've got these cooler cores on the way, so we can just start fresh with the car and we'll be good. So a lot of videos coming out this week. Hopefully we'll wrap up the car and get it ready to go, and yeah, we'll be ripping. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.